This is Miss Prisbilla working on Module 7, page 16, example 1. We are going to simplify radicals, and if you watched the video I assigned earlier in the week through Schoology, this is going to be a much simpler process. Even if you struggled a little bit with that video, exposing yourself to the process before we move on with the module will make it a little easier. So, again, this is Module 7, page 16, example 1. We're going to simplify the square root of 50, and we're going to do that by finding the largest perfect square that will divide evenly into 50. And that number is going to be 25. 25 divides evenly into 50 2 times. So if you noticed, I did not change the value of 50. I simply just rewrote it as its 2 factors. And the way you simplify a radical is by finding the largest perfect square that will divide evenly into that number. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is separate these. That's optional. You don't have to do that, but it does make it a little easier to identify which one is going to come out and which one is going to stay in. The square root of 25 is 5 because 25 is a perfect square. Taking the square root of 25, you get 5. 2 is not a perfect square, so that is going to stay inside the square root symbol. So that is my exact answer, and that is simplified. If you were to put it into your calculator, you would get a rounded answer. Rounded is not the same as simplified. Rounded isn't an exact value. So to simplify any expression, you're not changing the value, you're changing the way it looks. If you were to put in the square root of 50 into your calculator, you would get the same exact decimal as if you put in 5 square root 2. And you should do that now just to make sure you know how to check these. It's important that you retain the value. 2, or the square root of 2, is what's called an irrational number. That decimal doesn't ever end and it doesn't ever repeat. So we can't ever write that out in our lifetime. So to keep it exact, you have to keep it in the square root. So again, if you put it into your calculator, you're getting a rounded answer, and you would only do that to check.